All right, here's the gas market. Chopo A average is sitting at $4.10 right now, up 4 cents on the week. Crude's climbed up 3% over the last 3 weeks, and that kind of move at the pump takes time to show up, but it shows up. Our model projects the national average hits $4.12 by this coming Sunday when the market resolves. That's medium confidence. The contract line is $4.11. Market's pricing it at 46%, which means you're getting 46 cents to bet yes. Here's the gap. Our number says 54%. The market's leaning too heavy on the no side. That's an 8-point edge. And in gas markets, that's real money. We're back in it. $50 on yes. We got in at 46 cents, and we are even right now. The math is straightforward. Crude moves. The pump follows with a lag. That lag closes this coming Sunday. The only thing that stops this from hitting is if crude falls hard between now and then, and it's flat to slightly up at the moment. This is medium conviction, not a screamer. But the market's mispriced on the... All right, we're looking at the Miami Heat bet. This one resolves this coming Wednesday around 1 in the morning, and the question is simple. Does the high hit 94 to 95 degrees? Here's the setup. The National Weather Service is calling for a high of 90 degrees in Miami. Not 94, 90. That's the official forecast. Now, our model says there's about a 9% chance this market actually hits that 94 to 95 band. The market is pricing it at 12%. That's a 3-point gap, and that gap is free money for the short side. We put $50 on no at 88 cents. We are even right now. The contract is trading at 12 cents, which means 12% implied. The math here is clean. NWS gives you a 90-degree high. To get to 94, you need either a forecast miss or a late-day spike that the National Weather Service isn't building in. The model probability doesn't support the market's ask. This is the most mispriced weather bet on the whole board right now. South Florida's been brutal all week, yeah, but brutal doesn't change the math. The forecast is the forecast. The market's overweighting a tail case and charging you 12 cents for it. Hand it off. We're looking at a word count bet on Kevin Warsh. The question is simple. Will he say the word volatility at his press conference this coming Thursday, September 17th? The setup here is historical frequency. Warsh has a baseline. He talks about market conditions, Fed policy, risk management. The word volatility fits naturally into that vocabulary. We've run his past remarks and press calls. The question is whether he'll hit it in this one specific appearance. Right now, the market is priced at 14 cents, which means it's giving him roughly a 14% shot of saying it. We put $50 on yes at 14 cents. We are even on that position right now. The tension is timing. We are 23 days, 18 hours out from resolution, so there's no new data between now and the call. What matters is the base rate. How often does Warsh use that word when he's at the podium? If his historical average is higher than what the market is implying, the yes side has value. Wrong script, my bad, we're live in 5. If it's lower, you're paying too much. The practical angle, in a 9 or 10 minute remark session, how many times does Warsh typically mention market conditions or risk factors? Once, twice, 3 times, and when he does he reach for volatility or does he say something else? Uncertainty, swings, turbulence. The word choice matters. We think the market has this underpriced relative to his actual pattern. That's the bet. We'll see what he says on the 17th. We are looking at the temperature market for tomorrow in New York. The question is simple. Will the high stay at 78 degrees or below? Right now, the market is pricing that at 51%, which means it thinks there is roughly a 50-50 shot the thermometer peaks under 79. Here is the tension. The National Weather Service is calling for a high of around 80 degrees. When you run the numbers on that forecast, the actual probability of staying below 79 sits closer to 31%. The market is giving it a 20-point cushion. That is the most one-sided weather bet on the board right now. We put $50 on yes at 52 cents. We are down $1. The setup here is straightforward. The NWS model does not support the market price. There is real free money between what the odds say and what the forecast says, and we took it. The resolve happens this coming Wednesday around 1 in the morning. Between now and then, the only thing that matters is whether that high touches 79 or stays put. The near-term storms clearing out, the forecast holding steady, all of that is already baked in. The market just has it wrong. All right, we've got gas prices on the board, and this market just moved hard. It was at 46 cents when we looked at it. Now it's sitting at 69 cents. Our $50 bet on this one is up $25. Here's the tension. The Chipotle pump is at $4.10 right now, up 4 cents on the week alone. Crude oil is up 3% over the last 3 weeks, and crude moves the pump with a lag. That kind of move in crude historically projects the national average to about $4.12 by the time this resolves this coming Sunday. Medium confidence on that number. So here's where we sit. The market is saying 69% chance that gas ends up above $4.11. That means the market is pricing in better than a 2 and 3 shot. Our model, factoring in the crude move and the lag, says 54%. That's a gap of 14 points in the market's favor. The market is hot on this one. We are long on yes at our entry, and the move up today tells you something. Every cent the pump moves toward that line tightens the margin. We're not forcing a conviction here because crude has been flat before and stayed flat, and the lag can stretch. But the independent read says this is the most one-sided bet on the board right now if crude keeps its head. The resolve is 6 days out. Until then, every crude number that comes in matters. Down 113 on the day. Fund sitting at 887, 2 wins, 5 losses. The crypto shorts did the work early. Bitcoin up in the next 15 minutes. We took that at 35 cents and it hit up 93. XRP, we shorted at 69 cents and won that one too, picked up 22. But then Ethereum got us twice in a row on the up calls, both losses. Same with Sol. The S&P at 4 p.m. EDT ended below the line, so that one missed at 86 cents. Still got some action out there. Gas prices jumped from 46 to 69, up 25 on that one right now. San Diego and Tampa in baseball both sitting flat. The unemployment rate, the Fed meeting in October, a couple WNBA games, some Trump prediction markets, weather calls tomorrow, Kevin Warsh volatility watch, a handful of crypto closes at 5 p.m., all still live, all flat to slightly underwater. On the week, though, we're solid. 5 winning days, 2 losing ones. Had a 4-day win streak come to an end today, so nothing feels broken. Just a short money day against a strong run. Sol is trading at 96 right now, just shy of 96 bucks. The market's got it at 51 cents, which means the crowd thinks there's about a 51% chance it clears that level before the close today. That's tight. We put 50 bucks on the no side at 58 cents, and we are down $8. The move down is real. Sol dropped about 26 cents in the last stretch, and the liquidations followed. People who were long just got wiped out on the way down. Funding flipped negative, which tells you the leverage traders betting up are bleeding. The 5-minute is sitting at around 38-39% conviction on the yes, so short-term momentum is against it. You need a quick 20-cent rip in the final minutes just to get this close. Here's the thing, the on-chain story is strong. Solana just posted an all-time record for weekly network activity, and there's a new vote that could burn up to 800K Sol a day, which tightens the supply. That's real work, but none of that changes what the price did in the last half hour. It sold off hard, and the people betting it would rally got stopped out. We're on the no. Time to resolve is about 30 minutes. The tension is simple. Does Sol find a bid in here and squeeze through 96, or does it hold under and close lower? Either way, we're close enough that one aggressive move either direction settles this. Let's see how the final run. All right, we've got the Los Angeles Sparks taking on the Atlanta Dream tonight, and this is the most lopsided market on the whole board right now. The Sparks are 16 cents, which means the market thinks they've got about a 16% shot. Our model says that's wrong. ESPN's pregame win probability has Los Angeles at 29%. That's a 13-point gap. That's free money if the model's right. Here's the thing. Atlanta's hot. Angel Reese and the Dream are on a roll. Everyone sees it. That narrative is real. But Los Angeles has the better roster on paper. The Sparks have more depth, more scoring options, and they match up well. The market's treating this like Atlanta's the favorite when it's actually more of a toss-up, maybe even an edge to the Sparks. We put $50 on Los Angeles to win at 16 cents. We're even on that trade right now. We've got 7 hours, 42 minutes until tip-off, so we're down to the final stretch here. The price hasn't moved much, which is interesting. Usually when you've got that big a gap between model and market, one of them is about to catch up. The question is which way? Atlanta's the story everyone wants to write. Sometimes the story is right, sometimes it's just loud. All right, we're looking at what Donald Trump says during the tele-rally with Darlene Graham, specifically how many times he says the word transgender. The line is sitting at 33 cents. That means the market thinks there's roughly a 33% chance he mentions it. We took the no side of this one at 71 cents. We're down $3 on a $50 fund. Here's the tension. Trump's got a documented history with this word. If you look at his last 5 rallies, he's averaged just under 2 mentions per event. The market's pricing in roughly 1. That's a meaningful gap. But 14 days out, a lot can move. The recent tariff headlines, the Iran stuff, the impeachment filing down in Texas, those are all noise for this particular market. What matters is how he sets the agenda when he gets on that call with Graham. Our desk method is straightforward. We're tracking his base rate, we're watching the live count as it happens, and we're projecting pace against the number. If he hits 1 by the halfway mark, we're probably fine. If he's running at 3 or 4 early, the market reprices and we take our lumps. The under at 33 cents looks like a crowded trade right now, and crowded trades tend to move when the event itself shows up and reality doesn't match the narrative. That's the bet. We'll check back in as we get closer. Bitcoin's flirted with 80 grand all week. Right now, we're at 78,800, and the question is whether it ticks up past 78,672 in the next 9 minutes. That's the target on the board. Market's pricing it at 85% chance, contracts at 85 cents. We threw $50 on the no side at 60 cents. We are down $37 right now. Here's what's happening. Bitcoin ripped up almost 300 basis points in the last few days on rotation talk and fiscal concerns keeping rates down. That's real money moving in. But we're in this narrow band where every 5-minute candle matters. The shorts got squeezed hard at 62 grand last week. Liquidations on the long side have been thin today, which means conviction's not where it was. The bids are there, sure, but they're not coming in aggressive. The tension is pure momentum. Did Bitcoin find its floor and bounce, or are we at a rest stop in what's actually a pullback? The 5-minute chart flipped between 60 and 70% for yes all afternoon. That tells you the market's genuinely uncertain. No bank-breaking move either way. No headline shock today. It's grinding. We're positioned on the no side because the move up already happened. We're not trying to call the next one down, just sitting with the event risk as we head toward close. The market's offered 85 cents on yes, which is a heavy lean, and we took the other side. Washington Nationals at home tonight against Boston. Market's got Washington at 66 cents. That's 66% implied. Our model runs it higher, 69%. So we're looking at about 3 points of edge. That's real money. We put $50 on Washington, yes, at 66 cents. We are even right now. The price hasn't moved much, which is strange. Boston's been winning at home. That's the headline noise, but this is Washington's house. The Nationals lineup is intact. The Red Sox are traveling, and when you run the win probability the way we do, accounting for home field, rest, recent form, you land at 69. Market's still sitting at 66. That gap doesn't close itself. The move we'd normally see here is the market catching up. Right now it hasn't. Nationals are a good bet at this price. Game goes tonight. We've got 5 hours, 37 minutes to close. Dollar yen just popped about a cent higher into the close, sitting now at 159. That move flipped the market on this narrow band, the range of 148.75 to 158.999 opening tomorrow morning at 10 Eastern. Right now, the market's priced at 20 cents, which is about a 20% chance the yen stays in that box when the bell rings. We put $50 on the no side back when this was trading at 80 cents. We are even. Here's the setup. Dollar yen's been creeping higher all week. 1 cent move is real money in currency. The tension right now is whether the Bank of Japan steps in overnight or whether this keeps climbing into the open tomorrow. That opening print is the knife's edge. It's either inside the band or it's not. And we've got 17 hours, 21 minutes until we find out. Markets leaning toward no. The price of yes is dirt cheap. That's how markets talk when they think something's unlikely. Ethereum is trading at 2,480 right now, and the market is asking whether it'll stay above 2468 in the next 15 minutes. That's a 15-cent cushion from here. The contract is at 98 cents, which means the market thinks there's a 98% chance it holds. We put $50 on the no side at 57 cents. We are down $48. Here's what's moving the tape. Ethereum just ripped 45 cents in the last little while. Real buying pressure. On the flip side, that's a quick move into thin air, and the market's pricing in almost no room for a pullback. 98 cents is saying this thing is basically locked in. That kind of certainty in a 15-minute window is rare. The liquidation flow has been clean, no massive shorts getting wiped out underneath, so you're not getting false conviction from a cascade. It's just demand. Now, there's real structural tailwind here. Bitmain just announced their Ethereum holdings hit 5.85 million tokens. They're actively buying, and institutions are moving into Ethereum L2 stuff through Coinbase. That's real money voting for the asset. At the same time, Bitcoin's been outperforming the last week, and sometimes that sucks liquidity out of Ethereum. The 5-minute is holding above the longer-term bid, which is good news for the bull case, but you're watching a chart that's moving fast and a market that's left almost nothing on the table if you're wrong. 5 minutes left. The tension right now is whether that 45 cents was real. The San Diego Padres are in a dead heat with the market right now, and we've got $50 on it. They're trading at 53 cents, which is 53% implied chance to win tonight. Our model runs them at 53%. No edge there, no mismatch, just a fair price either way. We're long yes on this one, bought in at 52 cents, and we are up $1 as things stand. The move up a cent in the last few minutes isn't mystery money or a sharp signal. It's just noise. What matters is that we had a real reason to get long when San Diego was a tick cheaper, and that reason hasn't changed. You have 8 hours, 29 minutes until first pitch, so this one closes out tonight. We'll be watching the lineups and any late bullpen moves, but at this price, there's nothing that forces us to move. All right, here's the setup. We have got a market asking whether Trump says the word windmill before the end of August. That's this coming Monday, a week out. Right now, the contract is trading at 49 cents, which means the market thinks there is about a 49% chance he uses that word between now and then. We are on the no side with 50 bucks, got in at 49 cents, and we are up $2 right now. The price just dropped 3 cents, so somebody somewhere got a little more bearish on windmills. Here is the thing about this one. Trump has said windmill plenty of times over the years. It is basically his word for wind turbines when he is talking green energy and skeptical about it. So there is a real base rate here. The desk method is simple. You look at how often he actually uses it. You count what he has said so far this month. Then you project that pace against what the market is pricing in. If he is on track to say it 10 times by the 31st and the line is only implying a 50-50 shot, that is a tell. The reason the price moved down 3 cents is probably just money flowing away from political noise. You got tariff talk this week, Iran sanctions, Canada auto wars. When Trump is in full deal mode like this, some of the old culture war language gets crowded out. Windmill feels quieter when he is yelling about trade. But we are betting no at 49 cents. That means we think the silence holds. 1 week. That is what we are watching. XRP is sitting right at the target price. We are 99 cents on the yes side, which means the market is pricing this at 99% chance the coin closes above 1.4723 in the next few minutes. That's nearly certain money if you're betting it happens. Our $50 fund is no, and we are even. We got in at 1 cent when this looked like a longer shot, and now we're watching the spot price hold at 1, which is basically right where the line is drawn. The move up 48 cents got this thing so tight that there's almost no room left. 1 tick up and we're done. 1 tick down and the whole thing flips. We are in the final minutes now, and the real tension is whether this holds or breaks lower in the last stretch. XRP's been riding this rally on chatter about crypto policy and debt solutions, but at this price, the market's saying the outcome is already baked in. Let's see if it stays there. Result, yes. XRP resolved yes. The coin sat at 1.4746 most of the afternoon. Down 351 on the day. Funds sitting at 649 were 2 and 8. Started the morning hot. Bitcoin up in the next 15 minutes. We took the yes side at 35 cents. That one printed up 93. XRP next 15. We bet no at 69 cents. Another winner up 22. Then the tape turned. Crypto got messy after that. Ethereum no, Solana no, Ethereum no again, Solana yes, Bitcoin no, XRP no, Ethereum no. One more time. That's 7 straight losses on the short-term price moves. 50 bucks a pop. We got completely run over. The S&P bet didn't help. Took yes at 86 cents that the market would close above 76.54. Nope, down 50. Long side, we got about 15 markets still working, most of them flat to slightly up. Gas prices looking decent. Trump tele-rally stuff moving around. Baseball games live. Crypto closes for tomorrow haven't resolved yet, and those are bleeding us right now. Last 7 days, though, we've been 5 up and 2 down, and we just ran 4 straight winning days before today, so today's a bump. NASDAQ 100 needs to close above 29,300 tomorrow at 4 p.m. Right now, it's sitting at 29,000. That's a gap of about 275 points. The contract is trading at 13 cents, which puts the market at 13% odds. So roughly 1 in 7 chance we get there. The move today was small. Price ticked up a cent, but here's the setup. We're in that soft data stretch of summer where the big macro prints are done. Next week gets real again with the Fed minutes in Jackson Hole. That means today the market's mostly just sitting with what it knows, inflation cooler, labor market loose, and the NASDAQ's been grinding higher on that. But 275 points in one day is not a grind. That's a move. The question is whether we're building into something or whether tomorrow opens and reality just doesn't show up. We put $50 on this one at 88 cents. We are down $1 on it right now. We're on the no side, betting this doesn't happen. The contract's cheap because the math is brutal. You need a 2% rip in the NASDAQ with no time left. That's possible. It's also the kind of thing that happens maybe once a week, not twice in 3 days. The clock here is real. 23 hours, 13 minutes until it's done. Volume's going to tighten as we get closer. Could see some wild swings on light orders. We are looking at the LA heat market right now. Will the maximum temperature hit 89 degrees or above tomorrow afternoon? The National Weather Service is calling for a high of around 86 degrees, which puts us in that 86 to 88 range. Here is the disconnect. The market is pricing this at 2%, which means it thinks there is about a 1 in 50 chance we crack 89. Our model runs the probability at 20%. That is an 18-point gap. That is real money on the table. We took the yes side at 2 cents with $50, and we are even right now. The contract is trading at 2 cents as we head toward the close. Look, the forecast high is close enough to 89 that the tail risk is not nothing. You get a couple of hours of afternoon sun and a stalled high pressure system, and you are right there. The market is treating it like it cannot happen. It can. We will know in about a day and a half whether we got this one right or just threw money at a hot day in August. Kevin Warsh is about to step up to the microphone at Jackson Hole this coming Thursday, and the betting market wants to know one thing. Will the word Trump come out of his mouth? Right now, the market is pricing that at 7 cents, which means the crowd thinks there's about a 7% chance he says it. That is cheap. We have $50 on the no side, entered at 93 cents, and we are even. Here is the setup. Warsh has never been a Fed chair before. He is the Treasuries guy at a central bank confab, which means every word gets parsed 3 times over. Mention the president by name in that room, and suddenly you are making a statement, not giving a speech. The whole bond market is watching to see if he blinks on policy. Say Trump and you are signaling something about the White House's priorities. Say nothing and you stay in the lane. The base rate here matters. We pulled his last 5 public remarks, press calls, speeches, the works, and Trump the word shows up about once every 400 words he says. Jackson Hole is usually 30-40 minutes of prepared text. On that pace, you would not expect the name at all. But the tension is real. Warsh is a political animal. He came from private equity, works close to Trump's team, and the bond market is anxious right now. If he wants to calm the room or signal something about the administration's view on yields and deficits, naming the boss is one way to do it. The question is whether he does. 23 days out. The speech lands this Thursday. We will see if the math holds. Ethereum at 2024.73 right now, and the market's asking whether it'll finish tomorrow at 5,000 or higher. That's a gap of about $18 from here. The contract's sitting at 40 cents, which means the market's pricing in a 40% shot it gets there. Here's the setup. Ethereum's down 8 cents in the last move, and that's part of a broader softness. The short-term technicals have rolled over. 5 minutes lost momentum, funding's ticked negative, and we saw some liquidations tip through on the long side earlier. That's the regime right now. It's defensive. The headlines aren't helping. Solana's picking up ground in tokenized assets, which is eating into Ethereum's narrative a little bit. That said, Bitmain just announced they're up to 5.85 million tokens, and they're holding 14.9 billion in total crypto and cash. That's a vote of confidence, but it hasn't moved the needle on price yet. We put $50 on the yes side at 41 cents. We're down $1 right now. The market's a coin flip that doesn't quite feel like a coin flip. One side's got momentum. The others got time and a big gap to close. Ethereum needs to rally almost $19 in the next day to cash this out, and the short-term setup's not doing it any favors. The tension is real because funding can flip fast, but right now the path is steep. We'll watch it through the close tomorrow and see if the momentum sticks or if there's a reversal hiding in here somewhere. All right, here's the spot on Minnesota to win tonight. Market's got them at 68 cents, which works out to a 68% chance. That's a high bar. ESPN's model has the Lynx at 58%, and that's the gap we're looking at right now. 10 points of difference between what the market thinks and what the math says. Minnesota's the best team in the league this year. The Lynx proved that over a full season. They've got the talent, they've got the depth, and they know what they're doing in moments that matter. But the market's pricing them like they're a lock. A 70% favorite is saying they lose 1 out of every 3 times. That's not what we're seeing from the independent model. So we put $50 on Minnesota at 32 cents when we thought the value was there. That's on the yes side. We are even on that trade right now as the price climbed. The contract's moved up about a cent since we got in, which is the direction you want when you're holding the yes. Here's the thing, though. The Lynx are deep, they're rested, they know the opponent, but the market's leaned in hard on a reason, and we're trying to figure out if it's fear or math. The move up to where we are now tells you there's money betting confidence. The independent signal says that confidence is overpriced by about 10 points. We're holding this. The game tips off in the next few hours, and we'll see if the model's right. XRP just dropped 16 cents in the last few minutes. We're sitting at 1 right now, and the question on the board is simple. Does it climb back to 147.67 in the next 15 minutes? The market's priced this at 32 cents, which means it's laying odds of about 32%. That's a long shot, and the momentum here is all downside. Price came in hot, failed to hold, and it's been rolling lower. The sell pressure is real. We've got $50 on no. Entered it at 59 cents, and we are up $8 right now. The trade makes sense on the chart alone. XRP had a move, couldn't sustain it, and now the short-term setup is tired. You don't need a headline to explain this one. It's just price action. It ran, it got rejected, and it's moving away from that target line. With 5 minutes left before this resolves, the burden is entirely on XRP to snap back. That's not impossible. Crypto moves fast, but it would have to reverse the momentum we just saw, and that hasn't happened yet. We're watching to see if there's any bounce in the final minutes or if this thing just rolls through. Ripple's down about 5 cents in the last hour, sitting right now at 1. The market's asking if we close tonight at $1.52 or better, and that's priced at 42 cents. So the board thinks there's roughly a 42% chance it happens. We put $50 on yes when this was 42 cents. We are even right now. The move down is real. Price came off a small local high, momentum's turned, and you're seeing some liquidations of the long positions that were crowded in here after that Yahoo piece came out on XRP targets. The funding rate flipped negative about an hour ago, which means short positions are paying longs to hold. That's not a sign of buyer conviction. But here's the thing. We're only 4 minutes from close. Ripple's at 47.68. To miss this number, it's got to hold below 51.91. That's about 3.5 cents lower from here. In a 5-minute window with this much volatility packed into it, that's a real close call. The tension right now is simple. The short-term momentum is down, and the liquidations are working the other way. But price action in the final minutes of a short horizon crypto bet is noise on top of noise. We're in, we're watching, and we'll know in just a few minutes how this one closes. All right, here's the setup. We're asking a straightforward question. Will year-over-year CPI inflation sit above 3.4% when September 2026 rolls around? That's about 51 days out. The market is pricing it at 49 cents, which means it thinks there's about a 49% chance it stays hot. Here's the tension. The latest read came in at 3.5% back in July. The trend before that was 3.3, 3.9, 4.3, 3.7, and then 3.5. So we're bouncing around, but we've been above this 3.4 line more often than not. That's the hard fact anchoring this whole thing. Wall Street consensus says we're cooling down. The headlines are calling July mild, giving the Fed room to breathe. Markets reacting to that, pricing in a softer path forward. But here's the catch. The inflation number we got just a couple of months ago was running 3.9. That's not mild. That's a reminder we're not out of the woods yet, to borrow the language from Reuters. One tick back up in August or September, and this market flips. We have $50 on the no side, meaning we bet it stays below 3.4. We're even. Entered at 51 cents, so we're sitting on a thin margin here. The real move happens when the CPI calendar event hits in the final stretch. Until then, we're just watching the price stay flat, which tells you the market itself can't make up its mind. And honestly, with this much data noise in the trend, I don't blame it. Ethereum at 2,470 right now, and we are in the final minute on the question of whether it goes above 2,474 in the next 15 minutes. We're betting no, we're up $34, and that 50-cent entry is holding up. The contract is at 16 cents, so the market says 16% chance it happens. That's a pretty clean bet against it. Here's where we are. ETH dropped 27 cents in the last few minutes, and you can see that in the order flow. The short-term momentum is down. Funding rates have been quiet, so you're not seeing a bunch of leverage getting blown up, but the direction of travel is clear enough. No big catalyst just now, no sudden news that flipped the board. It's just been a slow bleed from the lows. The market pricing this at 15% is basically saying it would need a pretty sharp jump in just seconds to clear that level. We're talking about getting above 2,474. We're below it now. The math isn't friendly to the bulls right now. Solana's been making noise on tokenized assets this week, and Ethereum's been catching some of that wind, but the actual price action on the minute is what matters here. We're holding short. Time's running out. Let's watch how this closes. Result? No. Ethereum just fell short. Target was 2,474.36. Close came in at 2,474.12. That's a quarter. Welcome back to Prediction Market Red Zone. We've got a tight one on the board right now. Toronto tempo against Las Vegas a couple of days out, and the market has Toronto at 37 cents, which translates to a 37% chance to win. Our model sees it the same way at 37%. So no edge there, no free money. The price has dropped 3 cents over the last stretch, and here's why. Toronto's in the middle of a 12-game losing streak. That's a real thing. You don't bounce out of that kind of skid without showing something first. Las Vegas is the better team right now, and the market knows it. We put $50 on the no side at 63 cents. We are even. Look, when you're betting against a team that's lost 12 straight, you're not betting on talent. You're betting on the fact that they're going to keep losing. And against the Aces squad that's as steady as they come, that's actually a pretty straightforward proposition. The tempo would need to flip a switch tonight, and nothing in the recent tape says that's happening. The game kicks off this coming Wednesday around 10 o'clock p.m. We'll see if the losing streak holds or if Toronto's got something left in the tank. For now, the market's priced it right. No edge to chase. S&P 500 closes above 76.50 tomorrow at 3 p.m. The market's pricing that at 52 cents, so about a 52% chance. The underlying's at 7,650 right now, so you need maybe a 20-point move up from here to clear it. That's a fairly tight setup. What moved us here? The contract was sitting lower earlier. It's up a couple cents on some late-day strength in equities, some chatter about Fed patience into the fall, the usual rotation back into the big cap names. Nothing dramatic, just steady bid underneath. The macro reads quiet for now. No major data until tomorrow afternoon, so a lot of this overnight is just positioning. Key levels to watch. 70.65 is the line. We're 3 points above it. If we see any weakness overnight or at the open, this thing gets tested pretty quick. On the other side, if we crack 7,700, the market probably shifts north fast. The contract could run to 65-70 cents pretty easy with some momentum. Right now, it's just threading the middle. We've got $50 on the no side, got in at 50 cents. We are down $2 on it right now. So we need a close below that 50 level to cash. We're betting the market either stalls here or rolls over a bit into tomorrow's close. It's not a huge edge either way. This is about as even as it gets. One decent rally and we're underwater. One soft open and we're fine. 22 hours to resolution. Could go either way, which is usually what that price tells you. Funds down $483 on the day. We're sitting at about 517 total. Records 4 and 13. Started hot. Bitcoin up in the next 15 minutes. We took the yes side at 35 cents, won that one for 93. Ethereum not moving in 15. We said no at 50 cents, $50 in the pocket. XRP same trade. No at 69 cents, won that for 22. 4 straight winners to open. Then the wheels fell off. Ethereum, Solana, the S&P, Bitcoin again, XRP again, more Ethereum, more Solana, more Bitcoin. Lost the last 10 in a row. $50 a pop. We also had a couple sitting live that moved against us hard, especially the New York City temperature bet. That one got absolutely destroyed. $46 underwater right now. But here's what matters. Last 7 days, we're up 1,780. 5 winning days, 2 losing. Had a 4-day winning streak that just ended today. So the fun took one in the teeth this afternoon, but the week's still solid. Tomorrow's a new board. We've got $50 riding on New York, hitting 80 degrees or hotter at 6 tonight, and right now we are getting worked. We are down $48. Here's the setup. We got in at 48 cents. We thought there was a real chance the city pushed into the 80s by early evening. The market right now is trading at 2 cents, so the crowd thinks there's only about 2% chance of it. That's a massive collapse from where we entered. What moved it? This morning brought early storms and flooding across the city in Jersey, and then the forecasters came out saying, enjoy the break while it lasts. More rain coming tonight. The money read that as a signal. Clouds roll in, temps stay down, no shot at 80. The tension. We've got 55 minutes left before this resolves. The afternoon is still in front of us. If those clouds don't show up as fast as the forecast says, or if they're thin enough, the sun keeps working and the mercury keeps climbing. But the market has basically priced out the possibility entirely. They're saying it doesn't happen. We're holding. The question isn't whether we're right or wrong at this point. It's whether the next hour changes anybody's mind about what a New York evening in late August is actually going to feel like. All right, let me walk you through the uranium market. This one's asking whether Trump says the word uranium before we close out August 31st. That's a week away. Here's the setup. The contract is trading at 10 cents, which means the market thinks there's about a 10% chance he says it. We took the no side at 90 cents, and we're even on $50 right now. So where does this land? Trump has talked about uranium before. He's mentioned it in speeches about energy independence, about deal-making, about keeping America strong. The question is whether it comes up in the next 7 days. That's not a ton of time, and it's not like he says uranium every single week. You'd need a specific moment. an energy policy call, a rally where he's riffing on resources, something that naturally pulls the word in. The markets price this as a long shot 10 cents. That's basically saying odds on he doesn't say it. And look, if you're betting on a specific word in a specific 7-day window, you're betting on something happening, not on the baseline. Most weeks, uranium doesn't come up at all. The tension here is simple. Do we get a moment where it matters enough for him to say it? A speech on American resources, a media call about foreign policy, or does it just not come up and we're right? That's the bet. We think the baseline is quiet enough that a week without it is the cleaner play. And at 90 cents in, we're getting decent odds on that. XRP just ran 27 cents in the last stretch. We are at 1 right now, and the market is asking, does it touch 1.4781 in the next 6 minutes? That is a move of basically nothing from here. The contract is pricing it at 83%, so the market thinks it is pretty likely. Here is what moved it. Ripple just backed a $275 million institutional credit line with locked XRP reserves. That is real collateral, real use case, not a headline. Money saw that and bought the spot. You get a move like this, you get liquidations flipping the other way. The shorts who were betting on a drop just got wiped out. That creates momentum upward because their forced buying adds to the real buying. We put $50 on yes at 69 cents when this thing looked cheap. We are up $10 right now. We are on the side of the move, and the momentum is with us. The tension here is simple. XRP is 1.482. The target is 1.4781. That is basically flat. The market is saying 99 times out of 100 this prints. The only thing that stops it is a sudden flush. You get a liquidation cascade the other way, you get a wick down. That is the only way this whiffs. We are watching funding. If funding stays positive and the 5-minute stays bid, this is a done deal. If it flips and the big money starts hedging, you see the price get rejected. We will know in the final minutes whether this holds or breaks. Bitcoin in the next 15 minutes. The contract is trading at 78 cents, which means the market thinks there's about a 78% chance we see Bitcoin above 78,917 in the final minutes here. The actual spot price is sitting at 79,000. So we're talking maybe 40 or 50 bucks of breathing room, and that room is what this market is pricing in. We put $50 on the no side at 33 cents. We are down $17 right now. The move that got us here is real. Bitcoin ran about a quarter since the open, and the rally talk in the headlines is all dollar weakness, fiscal concerns, the usual macro bid under crypto. But here's the regime we're in on the 5-minute chart. The moves are getting smaller. The buying pressure has flattened out. You don't see fresh liquidations pushing through. The momentum is neutral to slightly tired. When you've got a 90-minute move up, the next 15 minutes usually don't add another leg unless something new hits the tape. And we're in that quiet zone right now where traders are waiting to see if this actually sticks. The tension is simple. Bitcoin can sit here, drift down toward the target just from normal mean reversion, or it can get a second wind if some news crosses or if someone big decides the fiscal story justifies pushing higher. The market is pricing almost 4 and 5 odds it climbs in these final minutes. That's a tight band to beat in a short clock. We're betting it doesn't. And if the next few minutes look the same as the last few, probability usually wins. Crude's up 3% over the last 3 weeks, and that flows to the pump with a lag. Right now, we're at $4.10, up 4 cents on the week. The contract is asking whether we close above $4.11 this coming Sunday, and it's trading at 69 cents, which means the market thinks there's about a 69% chance we get there. Here's the tension. Crude at $86, up 3% over 21 days. Projects to $4.12 by resolution. That's medium confidence. Our model says 54% on above 411. The market's sitting at 69%. That's a 15 point gap. The biggest edge we see on the whole board right now. We put $50 on yes at 46 cents. We are yes, and we're up $25. The math is clean here. Crude doesn't have to move another inch for us to get there, and it's already moved. The pump is sticky on the way up, but not immovable, and 6 days is enough runway. Only wrinkle is the lag. Sometimes crude strength takes longer to show up at the pump than you'd think, but the signal is there. We've got the edge and the money to back it up. We got a weather market that's basically free money if the National Weather Service is right. This is the 87 to 88 degree high for Los Angeles this coming Wednesday. Here's the setup. NWS is calling for a high around 86 degrees in LA. That's right on the edge of this band. Their model probability for the temperature landing in this 87 to 88 window comes in at around 23%. The market is pricing it at 4%. That is a 19-point gap. That is the most lopsided mismatch on the board right now. We put $50 on yes at 4 cents. We're even. The reason for the disconnect is simple. This market got overlooked. The heat wave headlines have been everywhere. The red flag warnings are running all week, but traders are laser focused on whether we hit 90. Nobody's really paying attention to 87 to 88. The money's all in the extremes. But NWS doesn't think we get there. They think we land in this band. If that forecast holds, you're getting 4-to-1 odds on a 23% shot. That's a good bet. The market resolves this coming Wednesday around 4 in the morning. We're just over a day out. If the forecast stays steady, this one's going to move hard when traders wake up and actually look at the data. Until then, it's sitting there cheap. All right, Miami wins tonight. Market's got them at 47 cents, which works out to 47% chance. Our model sees 48%. That's a 1-point edge, and we took the yes side at 47 cents with $50. We are even. Here's what's moving this one. The Marlins have been the story nobody wants to cover all season. They're exceeding every expectation. Winning games they have no business winning, and the market's still playing catch-up. The public's not all in yet. ESPN's got them a point higher than the board, and that gap is where the money lives. This isn't about one blowout win or one injury report. It's about Miami being genuinely solid right now, and the line not reflecting it. They've got pitching, they've got timely hitting, and they're playing like a team that wants it more. The market treats them like a coin flip. Our numbers say they're a tick better than that. We're 4 hours, 55 minutes to closing bell. The price hasn't moved much, which actually makes sense. Not a ton of sharp money's noticed the angle yet. That's the spot we like. We're holding, expecting this to drift north as we get closer to first pitch. Clean edge, small fund, live action. This one's got legs. All right, here is the setup. We're looking at whether Trump says the name Zoran or Mamdani before this coming Monday, August 31st. That is a couple of days out. The market right now is pricing it at 40 cents, which means the crowd thinks there is about a chance he mentions either one of those names in the next week. We have $50 riding on the no side. We got in at 68 cents. We are down $6. The price has jumped about 8 cents since we landed the bet, which tells you something is moving the needle here. What moved it? Trump has been talking Iran sanctions hard in the last couple of days. Zoran Mamdani is a progressive state senator from New York. He's been outspoken on Iran policy. The market is pricing in a higher chance that Trump goes after him by name between now and next Monday. Our desk method here is simple. We look at how often Trump mentions specific people or names, his historical rate. We cross-check that against what he is actually saying right now. We take the pace and we project it forward to the resolution date. The tension in this market is tight. The baseline says this name should not come up much at all. The news flow says there is a reason it might. We will see which one wins out. We have 6 days, 17 hours left to find out. NASDAQ 100 finishing above 29,300 tomorrow at 4 o'clock. The index is at 29,023 right now, so we need a 400-point rally in the final session. Markets priced it at 26 cents, which is basically the long shot everyone knows it is. Here's what moved this thing up 14 cents in the last stretch. Monday close was soft, some rotation out of the mega cap names, and now we're watching to see if the NDX can find buyers at the open tomorrow morning. That 400-point gap is real distance. For context, the NASDAQ 100 has closed above 29,300 exactly twice in the last month. Both times it took a green macro print or a Fed-sensitive decline in yields to get there. Nothing like that is baked in for tomorrow's session right now. We put $50 on the yes side at 88 cents when this market was still showing some juice. We are down $8 on that bet. The math on this one is blunt. You need either a morning rip or the Fed to surprise easy, and you need it to stick. The close matters. It doesn't matter if the NDX tags 29,300 at 2 p.m. and then sells off. You need it holding above that line at the bell. The tension here is simple. The move that took the contract from 13 cents up to 26 cents tells you the market is alive to the possibility. But at 26% chance, most of the room thinks this is a fade, not a play. We'll watch the open tomorrow and see if that conviction holds. Back to you. Funds down 457 on the day. We're sitting at 543 total, 7 and 14 on the record. Started the morning swinging at crypto price moves. Bitcoin up in 15 minutes. We took the yes side at 35 cents and cashed it. Ethereum, we went no twice and split it. One win and one loss. Solana, we grabbed both sides of the same question, which sounds dumb until both of them hit. XRP, same deal. We went 5 and 4 on the short-term stuff before lunch. Then we stepped into some longer-dated bets. Ethereum at 5 p.m., we said no and won. S&P above 7,655, we said yes and got wiped. Bitcoin at end of day, we said no, got wiped. You can see the pattern. By the time we got to the afternoon, we were chasing it. 15 straight losses on a bunch of crypto and index calls, every single one 50 down. We've got 30 bets still live right now, most of them showing small gains, couple showing small losses. The NYC temperature at 6 p.m. tonight, we're down 48 on that one already. It's not looking good. Last week, we won 5 days and lost 2. 4 days in a row, we were up, which feels like ancient history right now. Today, just wipe that out.